Our next session will be building worlds and building economies in Web3. We have the campaign director of YGG, John Sedano. Our panelists for this session are Michael Wagner, co-founder and CEO of Star Atlas, and Sangho Grolleman, CEO of Cryptopia.
All right, GM. How's everybody doing? You good? Show of hands. So who here has personal experience stepping into the metaverse? Show of hands, show of hands. All right, so maybe a lot of you guys here, especially students and gamers as well, you might have already step into a sort or one type of metaverse without even knowing it. And we have two of our very special guests here. We have Star Atlas, we have Cryptopia. I'd say two of the leading experts in building what a metaverse should definitely look like. So let's start off with CEO and founder, Michael Wagner. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great, yeah. Before we jump into the panel, I think just wanted to say this is my first time in Philippines. Won't be the last time. Loving the energy here, loving the vibe. What I've learned just in the short time being here on this trip is we have a lot of OGs in Star Atlas back from 2021. But the other thing that I've learned is that people aren't really informed on everything that we've been working on over the last 2 years. So what we have here is a little video. This is content that we played at Breakpoint back at in Amsterdam just a couple of weeks ago. And it'll give you a little sneak peek of everything that we have up and coming in Q4 and Q1 of next year. You guys want to see that? All right, let's go.
When we dream of space, we dream of transcendence. We dream what we might become. In which we can explore, in which we have agency. We finally get to go intergalactic.
That's the exact same reaction that I had when I saw it for the first time.
Yes, guilty of reusing content.
I saw someone way in the back just had his mouth open the whole time. So up next, we have Cryptopia and Sangho, definitely a legend in your craft. We are super excited. How's it going for you, man?
Also very good. Also my first time in the Philippines, and I guess also not my last time. I really enjoy it here, so let's go.
I guess we could do a rebooking of both your flights just in one tab then, right? And I think you have a surprise for us, Sangho, as well.
Yes, of course. We also have a nice video, and it showcases our first PvP playstyle. So let's bring it on.
PvP it is then.
Yeah,
Let's go.
absolutely. And you saw the announcement, right? So you are the first to hear. We're gonna launch on Skill 2, and it's a gasless chain, so you can really play for free and earn for free. No gas needed.
So, I mean, I might be a bit biased, but I definitely consider these two guys, as, one of the fathers of a fully on-chain gaming. And, it's very complicated for one to actually just, go ahead and decide, how to build out your games. Maybe you could share, both of you guys, like how your experience has been, especially when coming up with, that decision that I have to make this game fully on-chain.
Yeah, I can start here, and I want to note too, Sangho and I just met coincidentally in the hallway for the first time yesterday, not even knowing that we were going to be on a panel with one another, and we just started talking through our projects and our philosophies, and I have to say, I think our conversation yesterday, I wish that was recorded, because I think what you're working on is so closely aligned to our philosophy at Star Atlas, and it's not something that I've heard often in the space. We see a lot of people that are interested in attracting the masses and building Web 2.5 applications and reducing the friction points of getting into Web3 gaming. But by and large, what I believe is that there is significant potential and benefit to educating and informing our users on how to access and maximize the utilization of blockchain tech. And so I don't necessarily want to abstract or obfuscate blockchain from everything that we do. I want our users to know how to set up a wallet, how to secure that wallet, how to fully utilize this technology and access this alternative financial ecosystem that is Web3. So the path to doing that is a difficult one. We're intentionally making decisions that make our lives more difficult, but it's because we believe in the future benefit of informing our users of that. So, one of the things that I think is challenging here is that there's also no playbook. That's something I've said a lot. We're blazing trails here. The idea of fully on-chain gaming, I don't even know when that idea really came about, but I know from our earliest days, this is what we wanted to accomplish. And the reason for that, and Sangho and I talked about this yesterday as well, is this idea of composable ecosystems. So as much as what we're building at Star Atlas is about the game, or about these multiple product verticals and ways to access the game, the long-term vision is we can build a universe that can be co-created by entrepreneurs, by innovators, by developers, and they can do so permissionlessly and seamlessly because of this code that is executed on the blockchain.
Yeah, me too. No, it was really a coincidence, and yesterday indeed we met in the lobby, and it was also pretty funny because your coworker, she came to me like, "Hey, your hair, I really like it," and that's how we started. Hi, that's how we started the conversation, and then you came back, and I was like, "Hey," and we introduced ourselves, and then indeed it was like, "Hey, oh, I'm in the panel with you tomorrow, right?" And it felt like we were already soulmates, but. Yes, absolutely true. So what is important, and luckily yesterday I heard it also in the panel discussion, so there is, luckily now, a tendency to go towards on-chain, fully decentralized gaming, and it's extremely important. I mean, Christy, I believe it was Christy in the panel before us, was talking about giving the power back to the people, and that's exactly what we want to do. We want to give the power to the gamers. The gamers are the owner of all the items in our game. There are many other games, 2.5 games, where you have an NFT and you can also be an owner, but you're still not in control of the environment in which that item sits. So there's still a centralized party that can do whatever they want and can influence in a bad manner your ownership or the utility of your ownership. And as long as that's not taken care of, there's no power for you as a gamer, right? Because if you have an NFT, a nice ship or a razor, and that game publisher says the next day, okay, sorry, you need another one, or you need to buy X amount of tokens in order to participate in the game, then you're screwed, right? But if you're fully decentralized and you have all your gaming logic in smart contracts on the blockchain, and there's only one party that can change it, if there is ever a need to change it, and that is you, the gamer. So you can put forward a proposal in a DAO structure, and if you collectively decide, okay, we need to go into another direction, then by all means, go for it. But there's no single authority, no single centralized party that can do it for you. And that's the importance for me, and also for you, of decentralized gaming.
That's the classic Vitalik story, right? That's why Ethereum is around today. His World of Warcraft character got nerfed.
No, I think we're kind of forgetting, right, that how actually fast like the technology is going. So both projects have been building for what, 4 or 5 years, and now we actually have systems, tools, side chains, and networks that can support thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. You guys are building on Solana and migrated to Polygon.
Polygon and Scale. We're multi-chain, but we focus on Polygon and Scale.
And if you dial back a bit, right, like this, or at the advent of play-to-earn games, like this wasn't possible. Axie Infinity was on Ethereum before they even migrated to Ronin. But the fact that you guys have started building these projects with a specific goal in mind, it doesn't matter if you release the game in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, because it's made to scale, built to scale. Maybe a good question here is, like, you, Michael, specifically, you have a good financial background, right? And you've been in the game for a while. How do you balance building the game that the players want and also being able to manage the volatility of the markets?
Yeah, it's. I think there's really two parts to this question. So the first part is managing community expectations, and we've fallen victim to, out of a desire to be transparent, communicating what our expected roadmap looks like. And unfortunately, a lot of times, given the complexity of game development, you end up in a situation where timelines are extended. Would you agree?
Yep.
Right. So while we want to keep the community engaged and informed and let them know about everything that's up and coming and when it's going to come, it ends up being a double-edged sword for us. So we've kind of pulled back on our commitment to communicating any timelines, but rather just spending time communicating what it is that we expect to have released going forward. Now, the second part of this is managing an economy and also managing around crypto volatility. I think in the near term, it would be unusual for us to be decoupled from macro crypto cycles, especially given the stage of development. And we've been developing now since early 2021. It's been a couple of years. This is a product that will take up to a decade to complete. And what I really say is it's a product that is never intended to be complete, because the whole vision here is that through time and through this decentralized ecosystem, people can carry the torch on into the future. And we're thinking in terms of 100 years plus. Long after Automata, the studio, is gone, the community will be running this universe through the DAO governance and through the DAO funding mechanism off of fee collection, off of in-game activity, and new developers, again, will carry that torch. So in the short term, it's difficult to decouple from macro variables. However, once we get to the point where we have substantial game content and we have a significant user base, and the value that's being presented is less speculative and far more based on the actual substance of the product itself. When you get to that point, then you have far fewer people who are involved that care about price volatility, and more people that are just immersed in the game itself, which is ultimately what we're building.
Yeah, again, me too. Yeah, what is important for us, if you look at the game from a high level perspective, you build a world, we both are building worlds, and for us it's very important that people want to be in that world, and for people to come into our world, there has to be a very good reason. And for me, and I also think for Michael, there is a fair exchange of value. And if you have a fair exchange of value in your game, people will come and stick. And the exchange of value will be for money, but I think it's more important the value of time. So your time, or maybe health is the most important thing you have, but time is a good second one. So that's a precious asset you have. So if you want to spend time with us, or in this game, you get something in return. And it can be monetary, it can be social, it can be an accomplishment. People have different motivations, and what we try to build is an environment that can facilitate whatever your motivation is, that can help you achieve these objectives. And if you look at it that way, you're also less vulnerable to the crypto swings or coupling with the monetary outside, because there is other value that people get in your game. And of course, we're not blind. We also see that there are people in our game that want to be there for the money, so they really want to have the monetary value from it. And they are susceptible to the rise and the fall of the crypto. But we also believe that the people that we want in our game are with us because of our philosophy, because we build a trustless, decentralized system. And these people know, they believe in crypto, right? So they don't go out when the price goes down. They know, okay, it's all in the game, but we believe in this project, we believe in crypto, so we stay in. And I believe in such a way, we cannot be 100% decoupled, exactly, but we provide a system that gives value in other terms, which is less vulnerable to the shocks.
It's such a valuable point. I think that it's worth emphasizing here, too, that entertainment value, that utility aspect that gaming brings. And it's in the narrative right now, Web3 gaming is going to be a driver of the next cycle, and I genuinely believe that, have believed that since we started on this mission. And the biggest difference, and I've been in crypto for 10 years now, and I've been through all of the different cycles and all of the different themes, but what is most compelling about gaming is that it is a product that offers entertainment value as a form of utility, and it distinguishes itself from all of the other mechanisms that have been in crypto previously, which is largely financial driven. Like I want to get into crypto because I'm either speculating or I'm participating in ICOs or I'm essentially playing gamified finance through DeFi. But now you have a real application that people want to get involved in and spend hours in, many hours of their lives in. And I think it will be a catalyst for this next cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I may add, I'm in a lot of Twitter spaces, and you probably too. And after the first waves of play earn or play to earn, people said, okay, it's not about earning. We should not focus on the blockchain aspect. We should not focus on the Web3. We should build fun games. And I totally do not agree with it, because a game inherently should be fun. It's a hygiene factor, right? If you have a game that's not fun, what are you doing? So we try to focus, and that's what Michael said, on the blockchain aspect. So we say, no, you have to focus on the blockchain aspect, because you have to explain to the people that they can be the owner, that they can be a participant and an owner, so they can reap the benefits collectively, because we build a trustless, decentralized system.
I sense a collab.
So I think like one major aspect that we keep downplaying when it comes to expecting games of this scale to deliver is that it's a huge responsibility, because we're not only building the future of what virtual worlds will look like, we're also building the future of what player-owned economies are going to be. I'm guilty of it as well. I'm guilty of expecting too much from the games that I personally participate in, but we're going to get there, guys. So let's give a round of applause for our speakers tonight. Cryptopia, and the one and only Star Atlas.
Thank you, Sedano, Michael, and Sangho. Love your little meet cute story there yesterday, by the way, Michael and Sangho. So they spoke about building worlds, building economies, and how that's really hinged on what Sangho said earlier, a fair exchange of value. And that's not only in terms of resources, or money, but also in terms of time, entertainment value, and whatnot. So that's something that we really need to figure out as we build worlds and economies in the gaming blockchain.